thanks a lot for joining me. First of all, who are you and what do you do?
Delighted to be here. My name is Raymond Kelly. I am Group Services Director for the UK and Ireland, Circet. So I cover all things regarding transport, operations, compliance, and then a broader role interacting with the finance and so forth with regard to plant and equipment and the procurement department as well.
Great. Well, thanks a lot for joining us. I guess we're here because Circet's partnered with Geotab and we're kind of at the end now of a rollout, I would say, of a safety program with you. So I suppose the important first question is, we went through a long process together. How did Circet end up selecting Geotab as a partner?
Yeah, so first of all, I think we wanted an enterprise grade or a level system. And for us, it was important to have, key functionality. So there was particular functionality that we were looking for with regard to AI, safety. Safety was a very important thing with us in Circet. Also then, other areas with regard to fuel reporting, scorecarding, the whole safety piece, reporting and integration. We have a lot of other systems that we need to interact with and take data from. And the size of the organisation now is that it's so important that we need to take data from different areas. So what we have is like a data lake, and then Geotab is part of that, and obviously then we gather that information then and report out to all levels of the business. What we found as well, your willingness, the company's willingness to listen to us, to sit down with us in a collaborative manner. And in particular, around the whole contract negotiations and so forth, we felt there was a flexibility there, a willingness to work with us, because there was a nervousness and concern about transitioning with systems and, how would we do that in a controlled and methodical manner. But also then cost competitiveness was important for us as well. That was a big reason for us looking into the market.
Oh, great. So I think Geotab's found similar, so we've enjoyed working with Circet, and something that we've been really impressed with is that pace of change. So obviously we went through a very detailed process to make sure we were the right partners for each other, and then it was important because you were already running a safety program to transition quickly. You managed to roll out something like 80% of your fleet in 2 months. How did you manage that? Circet is quite impressive in that regard, and I'm sure some of our other customers would like to learn some lessons from you.
For sure it was a big challenge, because we're quite regionally spread. So we're in Ireland, Northern Ireland, and we refer to Scotland and England. Stakeholder management was the big one. We had to talk to all levels of the organisation. We planned out the rollout. We engaged with our regional managers, led up by our regional transport managers, and then we planned the rollout. To negate and to counter downtime, what we tried to do was engage with the drivers, get them out there, tell them where we need to meet up and so forth, and we clustered the installations as much as possible. And we tried to do them in morning times, evenings, lunch breaks, and when we have health and safety stand-down days and informal meetings, we were sending people there with the support of yourselves as well in that regard to do the installations.
Yeah, been particularly impressive. And then you mentioned there the drivers as a key stakeholder group. And I think as well as rolling out very well and implementing well, your team have managed the kind of driver engagement particularly well. So I wonder if you want to just talk through a little bit how the technologies then apply to the drivers in terms of, I know that you're scoring them and rewarding them in some ways for improving their behaviours.
Safety is an absolute #1 priority for our business. It permeates everything we do within the business. And for sure, we decided to put a scorecard in place, which was a reward and incentive scheme. We will reward our top 8 drivers in each region, so that's top 16 drivers, and we reward those top drivers on a quarterly basis. Every driver has access to the app, so they know their scores, they know their ratings, and they have a contextual understanding of their driving behaviours. So they have full visibility of how they are scoring. So every driver starts off with a score of 100, and maybe negative driving behaviours will drop that score, and then the drivers can go into the app, they can see their behaviours, they know where they need to make improvements, and then they can recover those points. So it's fantastic, because I think drivers compared to their peer groups, it's all about personal improvement, and for us the mindset, change the mindset, and safety is the number one here.
Well, thanks. Really clear. And, it's clear that you're focused on the drivers and the safety of the drivers. But I know for you personally, Raymond, a big part of your role is looking at, Circet's ESG targets. And obviously we see fleets across the world sort of struggling with the expenditure of that and some of the barriers to entry. How is Circet managing that, and how are you finding Geotab supporting you there?
I mean, when we think about carbon reduction, emission reductions, we have to split that into scopes 1, 2 and 3, and I think most people would be familiar with those. Geotab is very beneficial with regard to giving us data and physical data. One of the big challenges for organisations with regard to reporting carbon emissions is moving from monetary to physical, right? So what happens is that you look at your spend, you apply emissions factors, but the problem with that is that it's subject to inflation, right? So if you're doing it on a monetary basis, you're applying your efficiencies, it's increasing all the time, irrespective of maybe your actual litre usage. Geotab is providing us with specific fuel consumption. So what we can do then is start using the physical data. And so when we multiply by the emissions factors to calculate our carbon emissions, we're actually getting a truer figure there. For sure then as well, Geotab and the whole telematics piece is helping us with regard to idling reduction, route optimization. It also helping us with regard to knowing, the vehicles are getting charged and so forth. So it's really a benefit where we have a sub-truck project, as you know, where we're looking at using the telematics, using Geotab to show charge going into the car. And then what we're doing that is bringing that back into our own systems and ensuring then that we can reimburse our drivers. So whereas before we had, the diesel fuel cards and so forth, and you would get billed, you could manage that in a seamless manner. We think with this project, we can roll out an EV fleet. We can get chargers installed in our staff's residence and so on. And we can then have the mechanism to capture the charge of the vehicle at that location and put it through our systems in a seamless manner and reimburse our drivers for the cost of the charging.
Brilliant.